It's time to say goodbye to our little Mars helicopter. Ingenuity flew its last flight on January 18, 2024. The little helicopter was only designed to fly up to 5 times over 30 days, but instead it managed 72 flights over 3 years. It hit highs of 78.7 feet, went up to 22.4 miles per hour, traveled 10.5 miles total, and logged 128.8 flying minutes. Ingenuity landed on Mars at the Jezero crater with Perseverance in February 2021, and it's the first aircraft to fly on another world. During its most recent flight, and its last flight, on January 18th, NASA lost communication with the helicopter. The flight itself was routine, just a quick vertical jump to about 40 feet off the ground to make sure all the helicopter systems were operating properly. This flight occurred because the team had lost contact with Ingenuity on a previous flight, and the helicopter made an emergency landing. This flight was just to test out the systems and make sure everything was working okay. It was only supposed to last 32 seconds. Ingenuity hit the designated height and hovered, but then communications were disrupted again when the helicopter was about 3 feet up from the Martian surface. On January 22nd, NASA was able to reestablish contact with Ingenuity. Unfortunately, the news was not good. At least one of the helicopter's 4 rotor blades was apparently damaged. It can no longer fly. They're still figuring out what exactly happened during the flight, but the team at NASA's Jet Propulsion Laboratory, or JPL, thinks it has something to do with the terrain that Ingenuity was exploring. The way Ingenuity has historically figured out where it was and where it's going is by using local terrain features on Mars. We're talking boulders, large rocks, that sort of thing. But Ingenuity has recently been flying in a sandy area that doesn't have a lot of local features. It's pretty bland and featureless. They think that when Ingenuity was descending, it couldn't figure out where it was and made an emergency landing. That's probably also what happened on the previous flight. Unfortunately, the helicopter came in at an angle and one of its rotors hit the ground. The blades might be damaged and the helicopter grounded, but Ingenuity is still operational. Because that helicopter was an experimental craft, it doesn't have science experiments on board, but it's still upright and it's still communicating. So JPL engineers will continue to keep tabs on Ingenuity until Perseverance, the Mars rover that the helicopter hitched a ride on and uses to communicate with Earth, moves out of range.